internal organ, our liver, that really in many ways is the most important organ in our body, as important as our brain is, as important as our heart is. Unless our liver is doing that constant cleansing and thousands of chemical reactions in order to eliminate the waste products that could be toxic to us, our heart, our lungs, our liver, our brain wouldn't have, our other organs wouldn't have the ability to do the work they do without the work that the liver does. So phosphatidylcholine for, again, about a little more than a dime a capsule to get an ingredient that's so important to this critical organ. You can't underestimate, I can't underestimate, or I can't overstate the benefits associated with making sure that we have proper choline status, and phosphatidylcholine is the best way to deliver that choline.
And this is such an easy way to do it. So you just pick your size of choice, the 60, the 180, or the 360. Andrew, do you have the ability to get more of these? Because it looks like we've only got a few hundred in each choice. So I defer to the manufacturer, folks.
I suspect we could wait list it, but we'd have it here within a week.
Gotcha.
So we get it here quickly, but we have limited quantity. We get it here within a week. But again, whether we realize it or not, it's kind of the way we live in this country, there's sort of an epidemic of an assault on our liver. Whether it's the fact that we have to take medications, the fact that we might drink alcohol, the fact that we're overweight stresses our liver.
Sure.
The fact that we might be struggling with things like type 2 diabetes or hypertension or things like that. These all are stresses upon our liver, which I already say is already the hardest working organ in our body. So it's sort of a basic acknowledgement of the importance of that and the assault that all these things represent to this vital and largest internal organ that underscores the importance of this really inexpensive investment for a little bit more than a dime a capsule in that large size. And all you need to take is 1 or 2 capsules a day, and it makes all the difference in the world in terms of our choline and our phosphatidylcholine intake.
Which, you know what, and I love food, and I mean, I've learned so much from you, but if somebody said, oh, you should get more phosphatidylcholine into your diet, I'm not even sure where I'd start.
In fact, when I first introduced this product, the government a few years later, and this is probably about 30 years ago, they sort of made a recommendation that there had to be an adequate intake level established for choline. And even more recently, research and science underscores the insufficiency and the deficiency of choline in our diet, that it actually has implications potentially for the overall health of our liver in our society, because choline is the structural building block. Phosphatidylcholine represents about 2/3 of the membrane surface area of our liver. So it's not like it's some unrelated compound that works in our liver. This is the actual building block of our liver, which is why its presence or its absence can be determinative of the structure of our liver. If our body doesn't have adequate choline or phosphatidylcholine, no wonder it might not seek other fatty acids to put in its place.
So like you said, Andrew, like calcium is to our bones, and glucosamine, which is also coming out, is to our joints. This is
phosphatidylcholine, absolutely.
To our liver.
So I tend to not talk about ingredients that work on our body. Those are drugs. Drugs work on our body. I tend to talk about things that work within our body. And phosphatidylcholine is clearly an example of that. And the reason why we call it PC, liver, and brain, as vital and as important it is for our liver, it's equally vital and important for our brain. It's one of those ingredients that just doesn't get the respect it deserves, partly, I think, because it's so affordable, that it's not something that has a lot of, well, profit motive associated with it, because it's so darn affordable. You don't have to take a handful of capsules, and it's barely a dime or so a capsule.
And it's done in such a responsible way. I mean, the capsules, they probably look different from something you've maybe seen before.
Well, they're small. It's a small soft gel capsule. That color, that kind of, what would you call it? Kind of a
amberish,
an amber color.
Yeah.
It's a pretty color. That's the natural color of our highly concentrated phosphatidylcholine. So.
I mean, it's so fascinating to me. And so the thing is, we've got immediate availability if you join us now.
We probably will barely have enough to go around.
Right.
With everybody who's on the phone and online, we'll barely have enough to go around.
For sure. And I mean, I will tell you, I mean, you're gonna laugh at me, but I am a foodie. I do enjoy a glass of wine. I actually travel with the small size, and then I've got the large one at home.
But it's like Muriel. Muriel loves her wine.
Right.
When she has her wine, she has her PC.
I do.
It's as I said before about eating with weight loss, when we consciously eat, it doesn't mean we're perfect, but we're aware when we're not. and we make sure we compensate for it. So the way I look at a product like this, we all know what our current status is in terms of our blood sugar management, in terms of our body composition, in terms of the diet we consume, in terms of information we get from our doctors. So if your doctor has told you already that your liver enzymes might be a little bit outside the normal range, then this is an opportunity, it's not a drug, it's not a medicine, to support your body in supporting this vital internal organ.
Absolutely, and it's so funny because we forget how hard our liver works just because it doesn't complain, like maybe a headache or,
in my mind,
hard breathing.
Without question, it is the hardest working organ in our body. Yet, we have no connection to the work it does.
It's true.
It does all of the nastiest, dirtiest chemical work imaginable. It does really complicated chemistry. And for us to exist, our body's a laboratory. There's thousands and thousands of complicated chemical reactions going on anytime. And any of the crazy additives or substances or things that we're exposed to, our liver inherits that. The medication, our liver inherits that. Protein metabolism, fat metabolism, cholesterol metabolism, our liver inherits that. So it's doing all the dirtiest work. It's no wonder the liver has this remarkable capacity, unlike any other tissue or organ, to regenerate its tissue. It could actually regenerate its tissue. Makes sense, given all the nasty, dirty work and dirty stuff that it has to deal with, that it has this capacity. And that's why with that capacity, phosphatidyl choline is the raw material it uses to do that work.
Awesome. Here's another one of these products that I'm such a super fan of, and whether you, I think every woman watching this show, but men, you are not exempt as well. When we talk about the good health of your urinary tract, there are, yes, cranberry drinks and things that we can do. They're loaded with sugar, they're loaded with calories. This